I want to give a little crash course on parasitic draw. Testing for parasitic draw. I'm working on 2000 2500 Silverado. What you do is you disconnect your ground cable and hook a test light to the ground cable that's disconnected, and then hook your test light to the battery cable to where that ground is feeding through the test light to complete the circuit, and it will light up regardless. It doesn't take just a few milliamps and it'll light your test light up. That right there is the body control module, and I think that is pulsing the security light on the dash. These have a wannabe lied to you light on the dash, makes people supposedly think there's a security system. I can disconnect the body control module. It goes out altogether, which means there's no current coming out of the battery. But that dim of a light is acceptable. However, I have two other fuses. One is the radio and one is for the transfer case, and I have them disconnected at the moment, but when I plug them in, if you watch, spike the light, disconnect it, and it goes back out. Same with the radio. I have two separate problems going on here, but radio, same deal. This is the dim light from the body control module. Radio. This thing goes dead overnight, and clearly there's two problems, but you just basically, like I said, go around and pull fuses until your light at least gets super dim, because there's going to be some draw for your radio memory, for your computer memories, stuff like that, but this right here clearly is unacceptable, and that's what's running the battery dead, is those two circuits. So just wanted to pass on that little tip. One thing you do have to be aware of on some of this newer stuff is the modules time out sometimes, and this is old enough I'm not worried about it, but it can, when you send power to something, when you're pulling fuses, if you plug it back in and it sends power to it, sometimes it arms that module for 5, 10, 15 minutes, like how your radio plays when you get out until you open the door. So you got to take that with a grain of salt. So you might plug it in, wait 10 minutes, and it may dim down. But if it stays bright, then you got a problem, or an hour even. If it's not timed out within an hour, then it's definitely got an issue. If it's a heavy, bright light, like this one. If it's this bright for an hour, it's a problem. But just be aware that if you're plugging and unplugging, that you may rearm a module, and it may fool you into thinking that that's a problem, and when it's not. Which I've got two right now, and I'm honestly going to do that right now. I'm going to plug one in and wait a little while and see if it times out. But I think there's probably a problem with both based on how quickly the battery was going dead. But I just wanted to add that little tidbit to you, so you're not chasing your tail on something that's not actually a problem.